We'd like to introduce a couple of the speakers today. The first speaker who will speak today is Sharon Lewis, and she is the Executive Director of the Coalition for Environmental Justice, which has offices in Hartford and Bridgeport, Connecticut. She lives in an environmental justice community and has been fighting environmental injustices for over 20 years. Then we're going to have Elaine Thompson Ward, and she is a member of the Healthy Connecticut Alliance, a member of the East End Community Council and the Minority Business Association, and one of the co-hosts of You Need to Know talk show, which is housed in the Soundview Studios in Bridgeport, Connecticut. A vibrant member in her community, taking a stand with the Alliance to put a stop to this coal plant. She's had family members, many family members, who have passed away from cancer and asthma that has been triggered by the coal plant and its pollutants. So I'm going to introduce Sharon Lewis, please.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sharon Lewis from the Connecticut Coalition for Environmental Justice. Thank you all for coming here, and I'm so excited by all the folks here from Connecticut and New Jersey. Let's give each other a We're with the Healthy Connecticut Alliance, and we have 3 basic campaign goals. The first one is that we would like for PSEG to retire and decommission the power plant in a way that it can be safely used for... Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Okay, rewind the tape. We have 3 basic campaign goals. The first one is that we would like for PSEG to retire and decommission the plant in a way that it can be safely used for other economic uses. Secondly, we would like for PSEG to work with, collaborate, talk with, include the community in all decisions regarding this redevelopment. We want them to make it a speedy and rapid redevelopment of this beautiful waterfront property. And thirdly, we're looking for a just transition for the workers so that they would not feel as though they would have to sacrifice their jobs for the environment. Let me tell you a little bit about the Bridgeport plant. Well, Bridgeport is the largest city in Connecticut, and with that comes large problems.
Yes.
Forbes magazine ranked Bridgeport as the 4th dirtiest city in the United States.
Wow.
We have other large problems. Bridgeport is in the top 10 as far as the cities with the highest asthma rates in the United States. The NAACP, in its report called Cold-Blooded, cited the Bridgeport Harbor Station power plant as one of the top 10 dirtiest power plants in the United States. So what does that mean when I say top 10 dirtiest? Well, we're concerned about the effects of the pollution from the plant on human health and the environment. Let me tell you a little bit about the community where this power plant is. It's located in the south end of Bridgeport, which has been home to African Americans and been a source of pride for African Americans for more than 100 years. Starting in the 1880s, it became a mecca for freed as well as enslaved blacks who looked upon this place as one of the few places where they could go and realize the American dream. The famous abolitionist Robert Still wrote in his book that there were numerous commentary from runaway slaves who mentioned the hospitality from the folks who lived in this area, which was formerly known as Ethiopia, who gave them freedom from the enslavement, but also gave them food, shelter, and a place to work and develop a craft while they stopped, while they were in the layover on the Underground Railroad on their journey to other points north. We're here because we want Ralph Izzo and PSEG to know what they're doing to the residents of Connecticut. At one point, we have a community that was a source of pride, and it was a mecca for African Americans. Now, and it was an oasis for economic and social development and opportunity. Now it's nothing but a desert of despair. The people who live there are largely low income, largely African American and other people of color, but they're also very largely sick. We are adversely affected by the pollution that is heaped upon us by PSEG. And I don't know if you guys know this in New Jersey, but the Bridgeport plant is known to operate at night. So it is through this operation at night where they are continuing its assault on people's health. What are some of the health problems? Well, it's no secret, it's no circumstance that a lot of people who live within the 3-mile radius of this plant, which by the way includes 6 schools.
Yes.
It's not circumstance that these people have extremely high rates of asthma, extremely high rates of cancers, extremely high rates of other cardiovascular diseases.
Yes.
Extremely high rates of mental and cognitive and behavioral and social problems associated with breathing, not only the air from PSEG, but we have other sources of pollution too. But today we're here to talk about PSEG, okay? We're very concerned that our community has always borne the unfair burden of this pollution. And we want to see this stopped. And we want to see this stopped now. And we're asking for PSEG to retire and decommission this plant and make it safe. We just don't want them to shut it down, retire it, decommission it, and then put something else in there that is not in keeping with the environmental justice communities. We want you to know that you have to use green technology or make something that's better for the community so that they can continue on with a prosperous and healthy lifestyle. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My name is Elaine, and a lot of the stuff that I had to report here, do we have a representative of PSEG here?
Yes, we do.
Yes?
Yeah. On his cell phone.
Okay, these are the petitions that we have from Bridgeport, our citizens here that was signed, and we have probably close to 100 here, 1,000. So, and this is the letter that we sent to Ralph Izzy this morning. As community groups and organizations committed to environmental justice, we urge you to fully cooperate with the City of Bridgeport for a smooth retirement of PSEG Bridgeport Harbor Station coal-fired power plant. We're looking for a speedy retirement of the harbor front properties. Coal burning is one of the dirtiest ways to produce electricity. Soot, smut, smog, ozone from the Bridgeport coal plant, power plant contribute to the failing grades of air pollution and lung associations. I know a few people that have family members that have died not only from cancer, from asthma, but I also know people that have contributed COPD from this coal plant that's burning. a fair and smooth retirement of the plant for the city for the workers and its workers, and redevelopment of the site is essential for Bridgeport. As Sharon mentioned in her speech, there are 6 schools that is in the vicinity of this plant. I am one of the teachers in the public schools, and our students are having asthma attacks just about every day there. And we want this to stop. We're asking him to consider to close this plant down. And even though it's run at night, I know friends that live in the downtown Bridgeport area and the housing that's there. During the summer, she can't even open up her windows because of the soot that is on her window ledge out there. So we're asking, as we hand these petitions over, who's collecting them?
Over right here.
Thank you. Please take consideration of those petitions and just not throw them in the trash or shred them once you get into the office. We're asking you to give ear to what we're saying and our purpose for being here. These are some of the businesses on the east, from the east end, the east side, west end, and downtown areas in Bridgeport that are along with us in this protest. And they're asking the Healthy Alliance to help you guys or to urge you guys to close this plant down. Thank you.
The next speaker is from New Jersey, and it's Kim Gaddy. Where are you, Kim?
Right here.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I want to commend all of you from coming down. Thank you for coming out. Because you know, this is about solidarity. As an environmental justice organizer for New Jersey Environmental Federation, and I'm also the chair of the City of Newark's Environmental Commission, environmental justice speaks to the fair treatment of all people, regardless of the color of their skin, their socioeconomic background, right? It speaks to all people. We should not be talking about the same scenarios in Connecticut and in Newark specifically, and New Jersey. 1 out of 4 children suffer from asthma in our community. And PSEG is proposing a switching station in the heart of our West Ward community, right next to low-income housing, right next to senior citizens, right next to homeowners who take pride in purchasing their homes. And you want to build a switching station that covers 5 acres of land and just plop it into our community. That switching station will not create 1 job for any Newark residents, not 1. But what will it give us? All of the harm, all of the pollution, no tangible jobs, and it's disrespectful to the plan. The Fairmont neighborhood community worked for 2 years to create a plan on what they wanted their community to look like. That's self-determination. That is key for us as African Americans and minorities in New Jersey and in Newark specifically. We have the right to determine what our community looks like.
Yes, we do.
And we don't want it to look like this.
Yes.
We don't want it to look like what the switching station, the potential switching station is going to look like in the West Ward. We want something better than this. We want our kids to have a bright future. We don't want our residents, our relatives to die from the pollution that PSEG spews into our community and don't even give us a thank you, right? They just build what they want to build. It's disrespectful. And so that's why I'm glad to be here today, to let you know we are with you, the residents of Newark, African American leadership, our leaders on the Environmental Commission. Carl is a member of our commission because our commission voted no to this potential switching station. We have the right to make a recommendation to the mayor of the city and the council, and we wrote a 3-page letter to the mayor, to the zoning board members, to let them know this cannot happen in our community. This switching station is not just for Newark residents. It's for residents in West Orange, South Orange, and other places, but they want you to think that it's just for your community. But we told them, why don't you put it up in South Orange?
Okay.
Why don't you put it up in one of the affluent neighborhoods? Not right in the heart of a community where we live. Okay? So it is about, again, self-determination and us standing up for what we know is right. And we say no to PSEG. Not in our backyard. Take it somewhere else. So I want to commend each and every one of you and keep on keeping on.
Coal is over! 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 Coal is over!
And the next speaker of the day is Ted Carrington. Where is Ted? And it is the New Jersey Environmental Justice Alliance.
Hello, my name is Theodore Carrington. I'm a member of the New Jersey Environmental Justice Alliance. As a representative of the Alliance, I'm here to add our voice in support of the Newark residents who are in opposition to the PSEG's proposal to build a switching station in their neighborhood. Newark's population is comprised of a majority of people of color and working class residents. It is home to volumes of stationary and mobile sources of pollution. We cannot allow PSEG to build a switching plant in a residential neighborhood, a facility that will compromise the quality of life in a city that is already overburdened with trucks, traffic, and other quality of life impediments. Today we are supported by members of the Connecticut Environmental Justice community, the Healthy Connecticut Alliance, who are in opposition to PSEG's aged coal-fired power plant in the Harbor Station area of Bridgeport, Connecticut. It is one of the dirtiest power plants in the nation. The plant is causing serious health problems and other issues. PSEG cannot pollute one area and downgrade another area and not be held accountable in the eyes of the communities impacted. PSEG is doing a disservice to the community that hosts its facilities in both Connecticut and New Jersey. Fossil fuel power plants are the single largest source of global warming pollution. The 5 dirtiest power plants in New Jersey create almost 65% of the state's pollution, but only 35% of New Jersey's energy. The pollution outweighs the benefits of the energy produced. PSEG boasts that it's a green company and that it cares about sustainability matters, but apparently the only sustainability it's supporting is the continued operation of dirty power plants and attempts to build switching stations at the expense of its neighbors, especially the children. Children are most vulnerable to the threatening diseases like asthma. One of the causes being dirty air, causes due to dirty air pollution. The Jersey Environmental Justice Alliance pledges to work with groups involved in this effort to prevent the building of the switching plant. The Alliance, founded in 2002, is a coalition of individuals and environmental community, civil rights, labor, faith, and academic organizations. It is the only organization led by people of color which focuses on environmental racism and economic justice. I think it's important that everyone knows that New Jersey, Newark in particular, and Connecticut are working together to highlight what PSEG is doing.
Yes.
They work in one area
Yes.
and make believe nothing is happening in one
Yes.
place, but they're doing something someplace else.
Yes.
We're here to show that they're polluting not only here, messing with the quality of life for people, but polluting like crazy in a plant that they only want to plug in late at night where nobody can hear it or know that it's going on. The plant is old, they need to shut it down, and they need to find a better spot to build a switching station. They had a number of other choices. Why they decided to build it in Newark is, well, it's probably based on some economic and race and a few other factors that aren't right. It's time for them to stop doing what they're doing and start working with the communities that they're located in and stop raising rates. They want to raise the rates for ratepayers in New Jersey to build up better facilities to combat floods and have power during floods. We understand that. Just don't make the ratepayer have to pay. They have enough money, they make enough money, they can do it on their own. They don't need our extra dollars. We don't need our bills added up. Our seniors, people on fixed incomes do not need another bill. I don't care how minuscule it is.
Exactly.
They don't need another added dime on their energy bill.
Exactly.
So PSEG ought to listen to the community that it's located in and start to work with the people a lot closer than what they claim they do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Disease! No more 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 disease!
And the last speaker we have today is it's Jeff Tittle, I'm sorry, and he is from the Sierra Club of New Jersey, the chapter director. Thank you.
Thank you. And I also was born and raised in Newark and Hillside, so I understand, quite a bit in PSEG. I just wanted to start off with one little story about PSEG. About 15 years ago, when I started with the Sierra Club, we were doing an event with Governor Whitman down by the Hamilton Marsh, which is a large wetland right next to Trenton. And Trenton is also an environmental justice community, has a lot of environmental problems. And we were doing a piece on open space. And in the background was the PSEG Mercer Generating Station. And it was spewing green and yellow and black soot, which was ruining the photo op. And Governor Whitman got on the phone and called the president of PSEG. They delayed the press conference for 15 minutes until they shut the plant off so it wouldn't ruin the photo op. And the point that I want to say is that what we need out of PSEG isn't photo ops, but real action, that they have to close down these dirty coal plants, whether it's in Bridgeport, whether it's the coal plant in Jersey City in the middle of a minority neighborhood, whether it's in Trenton next to Chambersburg. And the irony is that in Jersey City you have the Gold Coast with the big high-rise buildings and the million-dollar condos, and then you have the Coal Coast, which is full of chromium and toxic waste in a coal plant. Wow. What we need from PSEG, who says they're a green company, is stop the spin and actually take action and be green. Yes, you can support solar and energy efficiency. You can even go down to Washington and testify on climate change. But as long as you operate dirty coal plants in minority neighborhoods, you'll never be green, and it's a green scam. And that's why we're here today, because it's solidarity between Connecticut and New Jersey that we're in this together, and that PSEG is not going to get away with it. And that's what today is all about. And I want to thank everybody who's here from Bridgeport. And I want to just mention a funny story. And Hartford and everywhere else, and Newark and Trenton, and I want to mention another funny story. A friend of mine went up to a Dave Matthews concert about a year or 2 years ago up in Bridgeport on the waterfront, and they could camp out. And he said, we couldn't camp. It stunk, because at night they turn on the power plant, and it's what goes into that neighborhood. Here they are trying to encourage tourism for the waterfront, and you got this coal plant chasing people away. He couldn't believe it, and but he was there for one night, for one concert. You're there every day, and you have to live your lives with it. And that's what's the problem, and that's what's wrong. It's one thing to have a concert. It's one thing to have to live with it day after day, and to live with all those health impacts. And it's not just the asthma, and it's not just the COPD. It's also the mercury and metals and all the other pollutants that come out that affect people, that affect our health, especially our children. And so we're here today, united between New Jersey and Connecticut, the Sierra Club nationally, all the environmental justice groups, whether it's Connecticut, New Jersey, or nationally, saying, PSEG, clean up your act and close down dirty coal. Thank you.
We're here today because it's our obligation to do this. So if we have someone here from PSEG, would you like to say anything? Nothing?
Well, we got Neil.
Silent. It's happy time.
Wow.